to spur on AI innovation that serves Americans. In an executive order signed by the President last month to accelerate U.S. innovation in quantum technologies to strengthen our national security. 1 year after executive orders on nuclear energy, we are seeing real-world results. The President's bold goal of 3 advanced test reactors achieving criticality before the 4th of July was not only met, but exceeded by 4 reactors achieving criticality. Just yesterday, Director Kratsios published a report establishing a blueprint for renewing American scientific leadership for the 21st century. After the Biden administration floundered to position America for technology leadership and energy dominance, we are seeing tangible results from the Trump administration, with OSTP providing critical support. We must maintain the lead across the board when it comes to AI. Microsoft's AI for Good Lab found that DeepSeek's free open source models have driven AI adoption across the developing world. Recently, the Chinese company Moonshot released a new open-weight model that performs competitively with American frontier models. U.S. companies are turning toward open source and open-weight models as they are cheaper, customizable, and have less guardrails. Just earlier this morning, Director, your team posted that Moonshot AI conducted large-scale covert distillation to develop their newest K3 model. And so a few questions here. How do we balance an open innovation ecosystem while protecting American technology from IP threat? And how is OSTP responding to the threat to American AI leadership posed by Chinese open source and open weight models?
I think there's, for starters, an important distinction to be made between open source models and large-scale industrial covert distillation of American models. And I think what was made public today was exactly that, the covert industrial distillation of American technology. The administration deeply believes that the future of American leadership in AI is contingent upon having a vibrant open and closed source set of models for Americans and the world to use. I think on the first or second page of the AI action plan the President released last year, we emphasized very strongly that the U.S. must lead in open source. So for us, we're doing everything we can to kind of push the open source community ahead in the U.S. and provide lots of alternatives for all of our entrepreneurs.
Great. Thanks, Director. Modern research and AI model training runs on data, such as biological databases and materials data. American leadership in these fields depends on the quality and accessibility of that underlying data infrastructure. That's why I introduced the Web of Biological Data Act of 2026, which would establish a single point of entry for researchers to access high-quality biological data for use in research and development. Director, what role does access to high-quality data play in America's science and AI ecosystem, and how would a single point of entry for standardized data sets impact the pace of innovation?
The access to data is critically important, and I think one of the reasons why the Genesis mission was launched to begin with was an understanding that there was a great deal of scientific data available to national labs, that if we could leverage that for AI, it could pay huge dividends. So I'd love to learn more about your bill and kind of see if how we can get something in that neighborhood of work through, because I think none of this stuff works unless you have the data underlying it to train the models.
Great. Thanks, Director. Thanks for your leadership. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Representative yields back. I'd like to recognize Representative Riley from New York for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, and thanks, Director, for being here. I think did I see an interview that you did a year ago that you're a new dad or a relatively new dad? Is that right, or am I?
You're exactly right. My son Odysseus turned 1 on July 3rd.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mine are 6 and 3. Are you sleeping at all? Are you guys getting any sleep?
I'm trying my best. I got to get my rest for
They say
today.
sleep when the baby's sleeping. My 3-year-old for the last year, every single night gets in bed with my wife and me. So sleep when the baby's sleeping. I raise that because I represent a very rural district in upstate New York, and one of the best things about living in the Finger Lakes is you're always out in nature. We go hiking through the waterfalls and the gorges that are there. Just last weekend, my wife and I took the kiddos out to do blueberry picking. The weekend before that, it was marigold picking in Trumansburg, and the kids are learning to swim at Sagonic Park. So those of us who are raising our families in Tompkins County, we really care a lot about the environment and about protecting it. But what we have happening in our community, there's this big corporation called TeraWulf. You might be familiar with them. Big tech corporation. They used to do Bitcoin mining. Now they're trying to build a data center on the lake. And it's a 400 megawatt AI data center where my neighbors and I are raising our families. And they're threatening to clear dozens of acres of forest land on the hillside, blast into the bedrock, run power transmission lines through the wetlands, threatening to increase the soil erosion, which is a big deal for our farmland. They've said that they're not going to use any water from the lake. Turns out they're probably going to need hundreds of thousands of gallons a day. And so over tens of thousands of folks in Tompkins County have come together to oppose this project, at least until appropriate protections are in place. And I support them in that effort. I just want to submit for the record a petition that's been signed by over 22,000 people. I'm signing on to this petition as well to stop that project.
Without objection.
The other concern, and this is what I wanted to raise with you, is that these data centers are going to have a huge impact on the NYSEG bills, the utility bills, which are already unaffordable. What's happening is NYSEG, our utility monopoly, they keep coming back and asking for rate hikes. They say they need it to improve the grid, but what they're actually doing is sending that money to their corporate overlords in Spain. And I spent a lot of last week on the phone with constituents whose power was out because the wind blew. And the last thing we need are these big tech corporations coming in, building these data centers, either overwhelming the grid even more or sticking my neighbors with the bills. Do you agree that's a valid concern?
Yeah, I think the administration has been very clear that the last thing we would ever want to see is for new data center construction to increase the electricity costs for Americans. The whole idea behind the Ratepayer Protection Pledge was to really force these companies to make a very public commitment to the nation, to the world, and the communities that they're claiming they want to support.
Yeah.
That
So
they won't be raising prices.
Yeah, and so I came here to find common ground across the aisle, get stuff done. I think we both share this concern. I always, try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. The issue I have with the Protection Pledge and the EO is that, first of all, I think fewer than a dozen corporations have signed on to it, and second, it doesn't have teeth to it, at least as I understand it. And I am not willing to accept a pinky swear from these big corporations that they're going to do the right thing. I think we need enforceable rules, real accountability on this so that my neighbors who are already really struggling with these utility bills don't have to pick up the tab for these massively profitable corporations. So building in some ways on the framework that you and the administration have done with that Ratepayer Protection Pledge, I introduced a bipartisan bill across the aisle. It's called the Fair Data Act. And what it says is any costs associated with these data center projects have to be paid entirely by these big tech corporations that are driving the costs and not by upstate New Yorkers and small businesses. Is this something you think we could work on together on a bipartisan basis? I can send it to you, give me your thoughts, and we can try to get this done to protect upstate New Yorkers from increased utility bills?
I think we would be very supportive of enshrining into law of a Ratepayer Protection Pledge. So to the extent we can work together on that, I would love to. I think this is important and Americans deserve it.
Terrific. I will follow up with you on that, and congratulations again on being a new dad.
Thank you.